Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the most amount of statements that I keep getting in my comment section is please stop talking about Black Americans, stop talking about Caribbeans, stop talking about Jamaicans, ladies and gentlemen. Then how are we going to solidify our relationships if we cannot talk about things that are affecting black people? How are we supposed to stay united if we cannot talk about our own selves? Ladies and gentlemen, why are we putting unnecessary restrictions among ourselves? And then at the same time, we are expecting the rest of the world to respect us. We are expecting the rest of the world to be fair with us when we ourselves, we are not even being fair among ourselves. What is wrong when I talk about either of the group that I have mentioned, ladies and gentlemen? What is wrong with that? We are one, man. We are one. We are one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one. If other people love themselves, if other people talk about each other, but now when it comes to black people, now we are putting unnecessary restrictions among ourselves. YouTube already has been fair enough to us, and it has given us this platform to share out our opinions among ourselves. YouTube itself has been diversified enough to accept our own opinions on this platform. But what happens when it comes to us? We are not being fair on each other, ladies and gentlemen. There's one white person who once said that, you black people, you hardly get along. At first, I almost justified his own statements, but looking at the way things are, I'm trying to believe in his own words, ladies and gentlemen. Why would you threaten me? Why will you insult me? Why will you even tell me don't come to Caribbean? Honestly. But I thought we are one. We are one, man. We are one. Or where did that go to, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen. This is not right. Absolutely, this is not right. There's also another YouTube channel where I saw that someone actually, said that, before I forget, there's also another one. There's also another propaganda. I'm not sure. It's a lie that, black people sold Caribbeans, or black people sold, African Americans, where is this lie, man, coming from? Where is the proof that Africans sold African Americans? Where is the proof that Africans sold Caribbeans or Jamaicans during transatlantic slave trade? Where is the proof? Because at times when you come up with such statements, this kind of statements can keep us divided for a very long time. And when we talk about Africa, you also have to be very specific from which part of Africa are you referring to, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, because even in the same historical books, we have seen, Africans were taken from their homage in West Africa. I come from East Africa. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't matter from which part of Africa. I just want to know, where is any history? Do you have any historical facts to substantiate your claim that Africans sold the people of the Caribbean, or Africans sold African Americans to the other side of the continent? Where is that proof? I just want to know, where is that proof? How do you know? Maybe this kind of statement, was mocked up by a malicious person to keep us divided for a very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, something that has no proof. I just want a proof. I just want to know the source of this kind of information that Africans sold their own black people. Okay, some people have been living with this life. Some people have been living with this kind, holding them into their hearts for a very long time, which is quite untrue. It's very, very untrue, ladies and gentlemen. And to say the least, this is not fair. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if there's a topic that I adore, if there's a topic that, I love doing so much, and I do not need any referencing material, it is this topic that is touching Africans with Jamaicans, or Africans with the Caribbean people. I am ready to defend the African ancestry with all my blood and sweat, ladies and gentlemen. This is a topic that I can talk the whole day. Okay, I've come to realize there's an agenda, there's a divide and rule agenda that is being pushed around the internet. There is someone who is on a mission. I don't know what this person is trying to achieve okay, with this agenda. There's, this person wants to create a friction between the Caribbean people and the African people. There's one clip where I saw someone was saying, the people in the Caribbean have distinct features that are so different than the ones in the African people. I have never seen such a thing. Such things do not even exist. They do not exist. Do not believe such stories. Do not believe such kind of stories. There's nothing like distinct features between Africans and Jamaicans and even African Americans. There's nothing like that. Okay? The people in the Caribbean are light skinned. The people in Africa are darker skinned, or they have more melanin. There's nothing like that. African is African. African is African. There is nothing distinct about our physical features being different among black people. We are all the same. We all came from the continent of Africa. We are all united by the DNA of Africa. And I am ready to defend. This ancestry. I am ready to defend African grassroots with all my blood and with all my sweat. Okay, so when I see someone saying, Jamaicans despise Africans, I overrule that immediately. I overrule that statement immediately. And I do not look at that person the same way. No way. You are trying to create a known conflict. Why are you trying to create a conflict? Who told you that Jamaicans are despising Africans? Or it can even be inverse. Some people even go further and say, no, Africans are the ones despising the people in the Caribbean, or Africans are the ones who are despising Jamaicans. When you come with such statement, you are trying to create conflict. You are trying to achieve divide and rule among black people, and that will not happen. That will not happen. It is not right. Ladies and gentlemen, we share a lot of common things. Most of the Caribbean countries and African countries, have you ever realized almost all of these guys were colonized by almost the same people and achieved independence almost the same time. Okay, we share common bond between us, ladies and gentlemen. Our DNA is connecting us through blood. Ladies and gentlemen, some people think that doing this kind of topic is actually very easy. It's not easy, because you have to read in a lot of information. You have to master in a lot of words. If you're a person who don't like reading, if you're a person who don't like research, if you're a person who, fumbles when talking, this can be very difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, this can be very difficult. And I remember Peter Tosh's words. You remember Peter Tosh? He said, as long as you're a black man, you came from Africa. Thank you so much. Rest in peace, Peter Tosh. Ladies and gentlemen, how dare you try to divide Africans and Jamaican people? How dare you try to bring out very, rough statements like, Jamaicans are despising Africans. Oh, Africans are despising Jamaicans. Yes, I know there are some few elements in both sides, African and Jamaican. There are some few elements who are bad people. I know that. Okay, this world is, after all, this world is full of bad and good people. That's how the world achieves equilibrium. Okay, but that does not paint the whole picture. That does not paint the whole scenario. Okay, there are good Jamaicans among bad Jamaicans. There are good Africans among bad Africans. And yes, I'm also very much aware about out of many, one people. That is a Jamaican motto. Out of many, one people. There are Jamaicans who are not completely Africans. I know that. There are Jamaicans with ancestry from different nations like Italy, Germany, Europe. I'm fully much aware. Others even came from Asia, others came from Japan. I'm fully aware about that. But the majority are Afro-Jamaicans. Majority are the Afro-Jamaicans. And when I look at the Afro-Jamaicans, they have the same distinct look as some of Kenyans I see here. They have the same distinct, so I don't even know what this person was trying to push out by distinct. Oh, Africans and Jamaicans, Afro-Jamaican, let me put it this way so that it doesn't bring a lot of confusion. Oh, Afro-Jamaicans and Africans have different distinct look. There's nothing like that. There's absolutely nothing like that. There are people here in Africa, you will think they are Jamaicans. They have the same distinct look as those ones and like those ones in Jamaica. There are those people in Jamaica who have similar looks as the ones here in Africa. As if they come here in Africa, unless they start speaking in Jamaican patois, nobody will know that these guys are Jamaican. Nobody will know unless they start speaking in patois, because they look the same. So don't try to bring in the distinct feature. Don't try to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I'm ready to defend African badge. I know Africans are not really respected people. We don't have one of the best governments. I know that, but it's not our mistake. But one thing is, I thank YouTube. I thank YouTube for giving us a platform to air out our opinions regardless. I thank YouTube for giving out the people in the Caribbean, Jamaicans, Africans, a platform to push out their content out there, ladies and gentlemen. And the last thing that we should fight for is YouTube. Have you understand? Have you realized that none of us have a monopoly of control when it comes to YouTube? Okay, look at what happened to Russia. YouTube has limited its access to Russia. There are some parts in Russia that cannot even use YouTube. But look, for us here in Africa, in the Caribbean, we can use YouTube. So why do we have to fight because of views? Why are we fighting because of views when none of us have a monopoly of control? This space, YouTube is owned by a private company called Google, and they can wake up today and decide, oh, from today onwards there is no monetization in Africa. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh, from today onwards there is no monetization in Africa, in Caribbean. What are we going to do? So you see, fighting because of views, fighting because of YouTube, it doesn't make sense. Let us come together as one. Let us love and support each other. What is wrong if I come here and talk? It's not easy. It's not easy to make a video like this. It's not easy because you have to look for a lot of things to talk about. It's not. Ladies and gentlemen, let us be one. Let us love one another. Conclusively, Africans love Jamaican people. Yes, I know there are some few elements that they are not very nice people. Okay, that's how the world achieves its equilibrium. The world is full of bad people and good people, but the point is, a lot of Africans do love and appreciate the Jamaican people. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to countries, you can almost feel Jamaican, you can almost feel Jamaican influence when you go to most African countries. Talk of Ethiopia, like the way the ladies are saying. Talk of Kenya, my own country. Talk of Ghana, Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, all these countries do love and appreciate the Jamaican people. Look at even the music. Kenyans, we have been listening to reggae. We also have a reggae festival, annual reggae festival here in Kenya, that we normally host a lot of Jamaican artists. Right here in Kenya, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stop all this hate. Let's stop all this hate, especially over YouTube views. All this hate I've come to realize, it's coming from YouTube views. That's what I've come to realize, ladies and gentlemen. Something that we do not even have monopoly of control. Something that we do not even own. Something that can, YouTube can be switched off in Africa or in the Caribbean, just like that overnight. We do not have a monopoly of control. So why should we fight over something like YouTube views? Why? What is wrong? What is wrong when a Jamaican loves an African brother's content? What is wrong with that? This is a free space. You are allowed to talk what you want to talk. What is wrong with when a Caribbean loves a Kenyan content and how he speaks, maybe how he talks, how he makes jokes? What is wrong with that? Yeah, That's bad, man. We shouldn't be living like that, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? When we die 100 years from now, all these things, all this YouTube and all this, will it matter? It will not matter. Ladies and gentlemen, it won't. Huh? So, ladies and gentlemen, let us solidify. Let us solidify our relationship. Let us solidify Caribbean and African relationship, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of the day, we have no choice. We cannot afford to, we cannot afford to have a crab in a barrel mentality. It's not good. It's not good. It's not going to do us any good. We can't afford. Ladies and gentlemen, as black people, we are more likely than not going to face, hostility from other places that you visit. We have seen such scenarios. Now imagine now we are also facing hostilities even among ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, is that going to be so good? It's not going to be so good. And this YouTube thing, 100 years from now, when you leave this earth, no, it will not matter. 100 years from now, when you leave this earth, this YouTube thing that we might be trying to fight, it won't matter. It won't count. What is important is to solidify relationship and stay as united as possible, ladies and gentlemen. And if you can allow me to go back again and repeat, I am planning to go and visit the Caribbean next year, and I hope my journey is going to be successful. I hope my interest and my objective is going to be successful. That's the day that I want to officially kickstart my travel, vlogs. I want to travel vlog. Yes, I want to go and meet Caribbean people. I want to go and meet even go to the hotel and also try Jamaican food. Yes, I also want to try spice soup. I also want to try ackee and saltfish. I want to try my favorite one, Jamaican beef patty. I want to try oxtail, rice and peas, ladies and gentlemen, and show it to the world. And I hope my journey is going to be successful. I will never stop saying this, because I know one way or the other, my journey is going to be successful. And you never know who is listening. You never know who is watching. Okay? The most important thing, of course, is to never give up at any moment, at anything. Never give up. Never ever give up. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in and watching my videos, subscribing to my videos. Please share this content. That is very important. Share this content far and wide, ladies and gentlemen. And I love what you're doing to my channel. Thank you so much for the engagement. Thank you so much for the tractions, ladies and gentlemen.